Hello everyone. I hope that you are doing well. So today I have come up with another important chapter of Economic Survey 2021, that is external sector. And before going into the external sector of Economic Survey, I am going to discuss the static portion related to it, which is very important to understand the chapter. Otherwise it becomes very difficult. It will go over your head. सर के ऊपर से जाता है. ठीक है. So we will also see what is the meaning of balance of payment and what are the components of balance of payment, so on and so forth. So stay tuned to this particular channel and get the knowledge and spread the knowledge. That's how I'm doing. It's your duty to do the same with all your acquaintances, relatives, so on and so forth. Okay? So let us make the important aspect here. Fine. Slideshow on from the beginning. Right. Balance of payment and external sector we are going to study today, presented by me, Syed Shujathullah. If you have any queries, this is my WhatsApp and only number that I have, and this is my email ID. I hope that if you have any doubts, I do get a lot of messages and all. I do clear them. So it is up to you that if you want to learn something more, you can be a part of that particular conversation. Okay. So as you all know, we all have got many accounts in our day-to-day life, right or wrong? Yes. So just like in bank, we have got an account called as savings account. For insurance policy, we have got an account. For fixed deposit, we have got an account. So accounts are very important in order to identify what is your money, where you are keeping your money, how much is incoming to you in that account, how much is outgoing to you in that account, all that track record. Okay, tracking of your transactions, right or wrong? Okay, that is why we have the savings account. Okay, so in the same way, balance of payment is what is balance of payment? The standard definition of balance of payment in our books is as simple as you do every other day. It is a systematic. What is it? It is a systematic record of. It is a systematic record of transactions. Nothing but economic transactions you can write, because the transaction where income is generated, where money is generated. Okay, such kind of transactions are called as economic transaction. Why? So balance of payment of a country is defined as a systematic record of economic transaction of a country, okay, with rest of the world. With rest of the world means India and rest of the world, like Bangladesh, you are having here Myanmar, you are having here Bhutan, Nepal, you're also having here Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Russia, and many other countries. Right or wrong? Absolutely right. So India with other nations, and we are having relations with regard to exports and imports. Right or wrong? Exports and imports. So these exports and imports are themselves called as economic transactions, because in either you export or you import, income is generated. Income is generated in many forms. Income is generated, but it is commonly used word, that is income. Fine. So India's economic transactions, and economic transaction here includes export and imports only. There is no other word apart from these two words. So economic transaction, when it comes to external or foreign sector, you have to include only exports and imports. Okay. So India's exports and imports with rest of the world means with the foreign countries. Means with the foreign countries. Here a very important thing that you need to know. What is that important thing? As you are aware of this fact, when we talk about GDP, when we talk about GNP, there is one concrete difference is there between these two. Concrete difference is there between these two. Why? Because GDP takes into consideration the value of goods and services produced within the boundary means it is a territorial concept, right or wrong? Absolutely right. It's a territorial concept. Means the value of final goods and services produced within the territory of the country. It means it is a territorial concept and it does not depend on who are producing. Okay, it could be citizens, it could be non-citizens. It could be citizens, it could be non-citizens. Means any person who is a foreigner in our country producing chocolate biscuit, etc., or any person who is not a foreigner, who is an Indian citizen producing chocolate biscuit, etc. So everything will be taken into consideration when we calculate GDP. Right or wrong? Yes. Okay, that's why GDP is a territorial concept. It has nothing to do with the nationality of the person. It has everything to be everything with respect to the people who are residing in the country. Okay, it is more of a resident concept and it is more of a territorial concept. It does not take into consideration the nationality of the country, right? Whereas the opposite of that is GNP, if you are aware of this fact. Okay, GNP takes into consideration not the residents, non-residents, but it takes into consideration the nationals of the country. Whether the nationals live in the country, whether they live outside the country, it makes no difference while calculating the amount of value of goods and services they produce. Okay, whether I am in India producing chocolate biscuits, etc., or I am in Australia producing chocolate biscuit, etc. But the thing here is, I belong to India, I am an Indian citizen. Wherever I am in the whole earth, okay, all that money, whatever I earn, will be a part of what? GNP. Will be a part of what? GNP. With this, what you understood? GNP is a extraterritorial concept or not? Very, very rightly said, sir. Okay. Understood, madam and sirs? GNP is a extraterritorial concept and takes into consideration nationality of the person. Okay, it has nothing to do with the concept of resident. Okay, those who are living in India, it has nothing to do with, it has everything to do with the nationality of the person. Okay, so I think you got my point. So GDP, GNP we have got. In the same way, we have got when India do any kind of economic transactions, which includes what? Exports and imports. Which includes what? Exports and imports. So these are the only two aspects that will come into topic when we are discussing the external sector or balance of payment. Okay, another important concept related to exchange sector is exchange rate. Exchange rate. This is a subsidiary concept under the exchange sector. If somebody is very good in all of these terminologies, etc., he is good to go with regard to balance of payment and external sector. Okay. So what was our definition? Okay, balance of payment refers to all economic transactions. Okay, in the bracket I am writing exports and imports of a country with the rest of the world. Okay, so remember this point here. This balance of payment is also a concept that deals with a resident, just like a GDP concept is there. No, balance of payment is also a resident concept. Means whether we are foreigners living in India and citizens living in India, both are considered together. Okay, and their economic transaction with rest of the world will be calculated. Their economic transaction with rest of the world will be calculated. So that is, there is no distinction of foreigner or citizen when we come across the balance of payment concept. Remember this point. It is almost equal to what? GDP. Territorial concept. It is a territorial concept. Let us see what is what. Okay, we have to see this. Okay, so in our balance of payment, what generally we do, we try to see that how much value of money India has got and how much value of money India has paid to different countries. So the plus, when we get money, When we get money, we will write in credit. When we give money, we will write in debit. Okay, but when we get money, it means you are exporting or not. If I sell you jalebi, then I will get money, right or wrong? Because jalebi is one of my favorite dish. One of my favorite dish with regard to topics in economic topics, because I generally don't like jalebi and I don't have jalebi at all. I don't crave for it. Okay, but I take the example of jalebi because it is very close to our culture. Fine. So what I was telling you is, when we get money, it means you have sold something, right? You have sold something, then only you will get money. When you have sold something, in our balance of payment, you have to sell it out of the country. You have to sell it out of the country. Understood? That's why it is called as export. But when you are paying to somebody else, it means you have purchased something. You have purchased something. In this context, we call it as imports. So export is related to credit, import is related to debit. So all the transactions, pencils, how many we imported, pencils, how many exported, pens, how many we imported, pens, how many we exported. Okay, Indians living abroad, sending money to relatives in India, friends to friends in India, how much money we have got, like that. And foreigners earning in India and sending to their relatives and friends, how much money we have got, how much services we have given in value, how much services we have taken in value. All these debit credit, all the values will be recorded one after the other, okay, with regard to India and rest of the world. And we will get into one conclusion, that whether are we performing better, are we performing equal, are we performing worse. Okay, are we performing worse? Okay, better means 100 rupees of products you imported, but 200 rupees of products you have exported. This is a better condition. This is a better condition. It means 100 rupees you are imported, means 100 value of goods you are imported, and 200 value of goods you are exported, means the demand of Indian products is there in international markets, in the global market. So we can assume that it means our products are very much doing very well with regard to competitiveness, and with respect to other similar products in the same category that are produced by different countries, right? So that is how we will become strengthened. So whatever it is, if you are doing more exports, if your exports exceeds your imports, then it is good for our country. If your imports exceed your exports, it is bad for our country. And there won't be any situation, usually in the world, there won't be any situation that import value is equals to export, because it is not possible. It is not possible. Either a country will be in surplus, either a country will be in deficit, but hardly this situation may come when the same value of goods exported will be equal to the value of goods imported. So this situation hardly may come as a reality. Okay, this is a very commonly seen aspect. Okay. Okay, when exports exceeds import, we call it as surplus. When import exceeds exports, we call it as deficit. And as because we are buying and selling is called as trading. That's why we call here trade surplus, we call here trade deficit. Whenever you hear the word trade deficit, what you have to remember is India imports more value of goods and services than India exports. Whenever you hear the word trade surplus, what is that you have to assume? India exports more than what India imports. Okay, this is the total overview of the concept with regard to balance of payment and external sector. Okay, so, and let us see what we have to see in our prelim syllabus, in our economic related aspects. We have to just, what the concept I have already told you, we have to learn the various components in which we trade with rest of the world. That's all, nothing more than that. What are the items we generally categorize as one group, and we will try to see that, we'll try to arrange them in a proper fashion so that it should be remembered by us, and the components of that particular things will be asked in the examination. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Fine. So let us go ahead. So my dear students, I have to tell you that after the static explanation, we are going for the economic survey 2021. So stay tuned. Okay, those who have got already concept, please come after 10-15 minutes. Okay, fine. Chala. So government of India will have two accounts with regard to foreign trade, with regard to economic transactions with rest of the world. One account we call it as current, another account we call it as capital. Current means day to day import and exports are recorded in this part, and here capital account means not day to day, usually a long term, not so frequently. Money will come in India, money will go from India, but not so frequently. All that money will be recorded under capital account. Here day to day value of goods and services will be continuously transacted between India and rest of the world, whereas in capital account not so frequently, okay, transactions will happen, but do transaction will happen, but for long term purpose it happens, long term purpose. And current account is more of a short term. Okay, all short term transactions will be here, all recurring frequent often will be recorded here, or not so recurring, not so often, not so repeated will be recorded in the capital account. Okay, so this is what we have, you have to learn. Okay, current account is again divided into two subcomponents. One is visibles, another one is invisibles. Okay, visibles are nothing but the goods we see and that particular trade with rest of the world. The goods we see and the trade of those goods with rest of the world. Okay, generally laptop, automobiles, anything whatever we see, rice, wheat, anything whatever we see, how much India is exporting, how much we are importing. Okay, all that will be taken into this component, and it is famous as balance of trade. Balance of trade. Okay, generally the balance of trade will always be negative. Balance of trade is a term related to what? Exports and imports of merchandise. Merchandise means the goods we see. Only good category is there here, not services. Not services. Only good category is there here. Understood? Yep, sir. Okay, if your balance of trade, if your exports are more than imports, we call it as trade surplus. If your imports are more than export, we call trade deficit. If both imports and exports are same, we call it as balance. Trade क्या हुआ? Balance हो गया. The value of goods imported is equals to the value of good exported, then we call it as balance of trade. Balance of trade. This is one component. Okay, again here we are having invisibles. What are invisibles? Invisibles are all the economic transaction, means we have paid to other countries, they have paid to us in different pounds, we have sent money to our relatives outside the country, they have sent money from foreign, people have foreign, the people who are living in foreign, maybe our relatives, maybe our friends, anybody paying us. Okay, all that transaction, but good transaction will not be there, visible transaction will not be there, everything will be invisible. Okay, this balance of invisible again divided into three subcomponents. One is services. One is services. Okay, so in Hyderabad we are having Google. Google is a company. Suppose I will not take the Google here. Google is a subsidiary. Google company is in America. Okay, here Wipro was given the sorry, given the project. Okay, what is the project given by the Google to Wipro? Google asked Wipro that you just make our GPS more better by linking all the streets, by linking all the hotels, restaurants, etc. That is your job in India. So what Wipro does, Wipro said, yes sir, I will develop a technology where I will link all of these and send you the location so that you can integrate all that information in the GPS. So Wipro is doing some service for the Google. After the service is done, Google will pay money to the Wipro or not? Yes, Google will pay money to the Wipro. So all such IT services, okay, will be considered under the service components. And not only that, if suppose you might be knowing in hospitals, okay, if there is a specialist are not there, we have to consult foreign doctors, foreign experts. So Apollo Hospital is there in Hyderabad. Okay, here the Apollo Hospital will write a mail to the here the patient will be told by the Apollo Hospital, sir, we have to consult a doctor in America. He's very good pulmonologist or okay entomologist, whatever it is. We have to consult to them. Okay, his fees will be sir $200. So the patient will say yes sir, not an issue. So $200 will be paid to this particular doctor, and he will come online and he will diagnose you, right or wrong. So this payment service only, no service. In the same way, advocate, in the same way, chartered accountant, any such value of services given to outside the country, okay, any such value of services, okay, taken from India by foreign countries, taken from India by foreign countries. All that services will come under it. The second component here is profits. The third component here is transfers. Third component here is transfer. Profits are nothing but I am a Indian and I am in Telangana. I have invested in what? I have invested in Nasdaq. Nasdaq is a stock exchange in USA. Nasdaq is a stock exchange in USA. So my money I have invested in what? Nasdaq. Okay, and Nasdaq here I have taken the shares of here I have taken the shares and have purchased the bonds of, let's suppose, Burger King or McDonald or Apple, like that. I have purchased something like that. When they make profit, they will pay me dividends or not? Yes, they will pay me dividends. They will pay me interest or not on my bonds? Yes. Any other payments? Any other payments? Like that, many foreign companies invest in our stock exchanges. They will earn. In the same way, we will also do lot of investment in different countries with regard to shares, with regard to bonds, with regard to any payment services. Okay, so whatever money is invested in our country, okay, you remember here where we have to write credit debit. So if foreign people invested in our country, if they are getting interest and dividends, means money going, we have to pay what interest and dividends to them or not? Yes. So debit लो रायाली, debit में लिखना, वो तेलुगु थोड़ा थोड़ा आ जाता sometimes. Okay, तो उसके बाद क्या है, अगर हम कहीं पे इन्वेस्ट करें, इंडियंस कहीं पे इन्वेस्ट करें, तो अपने को इंटरेस्ट और डिविडेंड्स पे करते नहीं करते, अपने को इंटरेस्ट और डिविडेंड्स दे विल पे टू अस, राइट. सो ये हम क्रेडिट में लिखेंगे. इस तरह से क्रेडिट डेबिट अपन लिखते ही जाना है. ओके, एंड द लास्ट कंपोनेंट वी आर हैविंग व्हाट? ट्रांसफर. ट्रांसफर से ये क्या है मालूम? खाली पैसे आ गए अपने पास. जस्ट लाइक दैट मनी हैज कम, just like that money has come, that component is called as transfers. Okay, so such as वर्ल्ड बैंक, कोई अपने पास डिजास्टर हो गया तो वर्ल्ड बैंक हैज गिवन एज ए ग्रांट, फ्री ऑफ दे दिए, या यूएसए फ्री ऑफ दे दिए, गुड जेस्टर में दे दिए, कोई बाहर से गिफ्ट कर दिए अपने को कुछ, और अपने दी रिलेटिव्स एंड फ्रेंड्स हु आर वर्किंग अब्रॉड हैव सेंड मनी टू आवर कंट्री, राइट और रॉन्ग. पैसे भेजते नहीं, ऐसे भेजते अपने दोस्त उनके फादर मदर को भेजते ना, राइट. एंड डोनेशंस, डोनेशंस आर नथिंग बट ओके. अब जैसे कि इंडियन रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी है, ये एक्चुअली इंटरनेशनल रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी तो है. ये लोग यहाँ पे, इनका एक ब्रांच इंडिया में है. सो ये लोग क्या करते, इनको भी पैसे भेजते, डोनेट करते पैसे. आप भी हमारा जो भी ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो कैरी फॉरवर्ड करो. लाइक दैट मेनी चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट, मेनी एनजीओज विल आल्सो गेट मनी फ्रॉम डिफरेंट places, different countries, or different organization which are in other countries. Okay, just like that ayat, donations, charity, all that will be considered as what? Transfers. ऑल दैट भी. ये फिर हम भी करते ना, हम भी भूटान को पैसे देते, नेपाल को पैसे देते, तो हमारा भी डोनेशंस, हमारी भी चैरिटी माइनस कर देना. जो जो भी अपने को ये दे रहे उनके पूरे प्लस में लिख लेना. ओके, सो रिमेंबर दिस पॉइंट. एंड वन मोर इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द इकोनॉमिक सर्वे, हमारे पास हमेशा इन दिस कंपोनेंट वी आर ऑलवेज इन डेफिसिट, in this component we are always in surplus, but overall इनका वैल्यू if we club both of these value, then ultimately ये account में deficit होता है हमारे पास. That is why we call it as CAD, current account deficit. That is why we call it as what? CAD, current account deficit. I hope you got my point. And very important other account we are having, capital account. देखो यहाँ पे पैसा long term के लिए आता, Okay, first component of it is external assistance. Second component is ECB, external commercial borrowings. Third component is short-term debt. Fourth component is banking capital of NRIs. Fifth component is foreign investment. See, in capital account you have got five sub components. Five sub components. External assistance is nothing but government of India borrows money from IMF, World Bank at concessional rates. सस्ते में मिलता लोन एट कंसेशनल रेट लाइक एशियन डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स लाइक सॉफ्ट लोन्स मिलते हैं एपिडेमिक से लड़ने के लिए, ड्रॉट से लड़ने के लिए, डिजास्टर से लड़ने के लिए, क्लाइमेट चेंज से लड़ने के लिए, फॉर वट एवर दी uses are there, whatever the uses are there. External assistance is generally government related. Government अगर जब पैसे ली कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, इफ गवर्नमेंट हैज टेकन एनी लोन एट कंसेशनल इंटरेस्ट रेट, कम इंटरेस्ट रेट पे जब गवर्नमेंट पैसा उठाती बाहर के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, बाहर के कंट्री से, वी कॉल इट एज एक्सटर्नल असिस्टेंस. This word is used only for government purpose. If Tata, Birlas and all, if they borrow loans from other banks, okay, other countries banks, then we call them as external commercial borrowings. Not only Tata, Birlas, Ambanis, okay, even our BHEL, GAIL, SAIL, all these public sector companies are also there. No, if they also borrows money from banks of other countries, then that is called as private or public sector enterprises. If they borrow money or loan from foreign countries, this category will be called as external commercial borrowings. We call it as ECBs. ECBs. Short-term debt means the government of India has sold some security for 1 year purpose. इसकी मेच्योरिटी कितनी रहती? ओनली फॉर 1 year. शॉर्ट टर्म डेट, एक साल के लिए गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया विल सेल सम बॉन्ड्स टू जापान बैंक, जापान सेंट्रल बैंक, फेडरल बैंक ऑफ यूएसए, उनको अपने बॉन्ड्स देके उनके पास से पैसा उठाती शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए. ओके, एज बिकॉज दिस इज इन शॉर्ट टर्म, सो बजट में इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट्स इसके होते नहीं. Okay, this is a very much integrated concept. Okay, if the one who knows it, they can understand it. Okay, and banking capital of NRIs. So my brothers are there who are in Dubai, who are also in UK, some are in Australia. So these three places my siblings are there. Okay, they open NRI accounts in India. They open NRI accounts in India. So remember this point. If generally in NRI accounts you have to pay, you have to make a minimum balance. You have to keep 50,000 like that, 1 lakh, 2 lakh. इतना रखना पड़ता. Just like in SBI account we keep 500, right or wrong? In Axis Bank I keep generally 10,000. 10,000 minimum रखना है. In the same way, if a NRI, non-resident Indian, हमारा भाई अगर दुबई में, यूके में है, लंदन में है, अगर ये लोग okay, इनको एक अकाउंट खोलना है तो they have to open what? NRI account. They have to open NRI account, but generally what happens, they don't do it because the minimum deposit amount is very very high. That's why what they will do, मैं पैसे डाल दूं, मैं दोस्त के हाथ से भेज रहा हूँ, ठहरो, या मैं मेरे अकाउंट में डाल दूं, उनके अकाउंट को ट्रांसफर करते, या वेस्टर्न यूनियन मनी ट्रांसफर वहां पे जाके ले लो बोलते. सो दे डू दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टफ. बट हैव यू एवर सीन दैट दे हैव पुट मनी इन द बैंक और बैंक में पैसे आए? ऐसा कभी हो नहीं सकता. Remember this point. This is not at all possible. They cannot directly send money to the banks. That is not there. That is not possible at all. Okay, तो वो लोग ऐसा करते हैं. If they want to send in that way, they have to open a SBI bank को जाना. They have to go to the SBI bank. They have to open what? NRI account. When they open NRI account, then when they are working in Dubai or London like that, they can send in this account. और ये account का ATM मम्मी के पास रहता, इन्हों यहाँ से भेज सकते, and मम्मी can use the ATM and withdraw money from here. But this is not the case. ये generally होता ऐसा नहीं है. वो कहीं कहीं से भेजेंगे मगर account में नहीं भेजेंगे. Fine. So that is called as the deposits of NRI in the banks. The saving deposits of NRI in the banks is called as banking capital. ये भी बहुत साल तक होती है because minimum deposit ना तो रहती है उनके पास. And the last and very important and beautiful concept we are having here is foreign investment. Foreign investment can come in two ways. One is direct investment, foreign direct investment. Here the foreign investment will be done in order to establish a factory, in order to establish a industry like that. Okay, generally यहाँ पे ये सब बना के they create assets which is good for the country. तो कुछ ना कुछ बन जाता. Okay, foreign direct investment. Portfolio investment means they generally invest in what? Stocks. यहाँ पे लिखा देखो bonds, money में trading करते ना, ये लोग को बोलते हैं portfolio investment. They generally does not establish any factory, any office. ये सब establish नहीं करते ये लोग. They just directly invest in stock, bonds and money trading में involve होते हैं. Exchange rate कम ऊपर नीचे रहा तो बेच देना खरीदना, बेच देना खरीदना. That is what they do. That is what they do. That is called as portfolio investment. So now this is the static data with regard to balance of payments. Now we are going to see the actual economic survey. All these things we are going to correlate one by one. Stay tuned with me. Okay. So global economic environment, because of pandemic. Okay, because of pandemic, world trade को क्या हुआ, world में import export को क्या effect हुआ, what is the world output में क्या हुआ, we are going to see. And the very important organization which is involved in this trading related aspects, which is governing the trading aspects of the world, is World Trade Organization. So WTO in April 2020, you might be knowing that April 25 or 24 lockdown was imposed. So the WTO in April 2020, they have predicted that there will be a fall in mercantile trade by 13 to 32% in 2020. 13 to 32% in 2020. वर्ल्ड वाइड में ये जो गुड्स का ट्रेडिंग है, कौन सा ट्रेडिंग, ये कंपोनेंट का ट्रेडिंग है, ये फॉल होता कितना, 12 to 32% तक फॉल होता. मींस अगर 100 पेंस दे वर सेलिंग, ओके, 12 to 32 means let's suppose 30 to 30%, let us take. So 100 pence they are selling means 30 will be reduced and only 70 pence will be traded among nations. 70 pence will be traded among nations. Like that, the total mercantile, the total goods related trade will fall by 20 to 32%. That is why I have went for static explanation first. Because if you don't know this, then what you are going to understand. Okay, तो मैं भी होशियार हूँ. Fine. Then इनका तो ये prediction था. Then lockdown ease हुआ, unlock start हुआ, unlock 1 2 3 4. Then WTO revised its forecast and they told that नहीं 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 उतना कम नहीं होता, it will be only 9.2%. It will be only 9.2%, and they have even predicted that it will be more lesser in 2021. So the world mercantile trade will reduce by 7.2%. इतना कम होता, 7.2% कम होता 2021 में. So three data was given. First is 13 to 32% in 2020 in April. But unlock, because of unlock procedure, they have revised and they made it to 9.2%. And they have also predicted that it will be more lesser impact will be there, and the world trade will not contract heavily, the world trade will contract very narrowly, that is 7.2%. उतना ज़्यादा contract नहीं होता, बस थोड़ा बहुत कम होता world में trade mercantile का, like 7.2%. okay, बोल तो 100% में से 7% निकाल दो, almost 93% का trade होता होता बोल के बोले 2021 में. And after WTO, another important organization that is involved in external trade and finance related aspect is IMF. IMF इनकी एक report है which is called as World Economic Outlook. Okay, and according to IMF World Economic Outlook, they told that world का जो output है, it will fall to 4.4% in 2020. World output जो इतना वर्ल्ड में जहां जहां भी जो भी प्रोड्यूस कर रहे, अगर 100 चीज प्रोड्यूस कर रहे तो 4 कम हो जाते, लाइक 96 ही प्रोड्यूस होते. सो वर्ल्ड का जो आउटपुट है, द वर्ल्ड आउटपुट विल डिक्रीज टू 4.4% इन 2020. एंड वर्ल्ड का जो भी ट्रेड वैल्यूम है, ट्रेड वैल्यूम है, ओके, 10.4%. ट्रेड वैल्यूम कितना है, वॉल्यूम मींस वैल्यू, वैल्यू में 10.4% कम होता. ओके, in advanced economies like Japan, like Russia, USA, UK, these are called as advanced economy. In advanced economy, the contraction for GDP, contraction for GDP as well as trade volume is projected to be more severe. ये advanced economy में ज़्यादा world ये ट्रेड का जो वॉल्यूम है, वॉल्यूम बोल तो कितने प्रोडक्ट्स उन लोग एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट कर रही है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज वॉल्यूम. वॉल्यूम इज नथिंग बट बास्केट in which goods and services as a items are placed, in which goods and services as a items are placed. तो ये है ट्रेड वॉल्यूम. ट्रेड वॉल्यूम. सो एडवांस इकोनॉमी में ट्रेड का जो वॉल्यूम है बहुत सीवियरली घट जाता, इट विल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट than the emerging market and developing economies like India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Brazil, South Africa. ये कंट्रीज में उतना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं होता जितना एडवांस इकोनॉमी में ट्रेड का जो वॉल्यूम है, जो आना जाना एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट का जो भी नंबर ऑफ गुड्स ऑफ आइटम्स आर देयर, okay, they will see less severity in countries like emerging markets, okay, and it will be more severe in advanced economy. ये कौन बोलता है? सर्वे बोलता है. Okay, among the emerging market and developing economies, Southeast Asia एक्सपोर्ट ओरिएंटेड कंट्रीज विटनेस स्टिल लोअर श्रिंकेज. तो ये साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में और भी कम कॉन्ट्रैक्शन होता जीडीपी में, उतना ज्यादा पैंडेमिक का इफेक्ट नहीं है, थोड़ा बहुत ट्रेड वॉल्यूम विल बी कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड बट नॉट टू लार्जर एक्सटेंट. ओके, एडवांस इकोनॉमीज में सबसे ज्यादा सीवियरली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता ट्रेड वॉल्यूम, ओके, फॉलोड बाय इमर्जिंग मार्केट एंड डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमीज में थोड़ा कम, एंड साउथ एशियन कंट्रीज में और भी कम कॉन्ट्रैक्शन वी विल सी विथ रिगार्ड टू व्हाट, एक्सपोर्ट्स एंड इंपोर्ट्स. ओके, उतना ज्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता. पहले वो जितने गुड्स इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट्स करते थे अभी भी उतने ही कर रहे हैं, नॉट नियर टू दैट, नियर टू दैट. ओके, दे आर इन वेरी गुड पोजीशन, दे आर इन वेरी गुड पोजीशन. ओके, and one more important aspect here, when we see the what kind of goods have fell sharply, जिस किस कौन से गुड्स का ट्रेड वॉल्यूम कम हुआ, कौन से गुड्स का ट्रेड ज्यादा हुआ. सो इट इज नॉट द सेम फॉर ऑल द गुड्स. द इम्पैक्ट ऑन ट्रेड also varied significantly across different types of goods. Let's suppose agriculture के products में rice, wheat, grains, इनका it fell less than the world average, fell less than the, तो वर्ल्ड का तो ट्रेड -21% कम हुआ, एटलीस्ट वी वर बेटर, हमारा 5% ही कम हुआ. सो पहले 100 kgs भेज रहे थे अपन, ओके, ट्रेड वॉल्यूम बिकॉज ऑफ पैंडेमिक 95 kg, ओनली 5 kg का फर्क आया. वेराज वर्ल्ड एवरेज का कितना था? 21% कम हुआ एग्रीकल्चर, ओके, प्रोडक्ट्स का ट्रेड. ओके, इन द सेम वे for fuel and mining related products it is more severe, -38% decrease हुआ. Okay, and automotive products, you might be knowing that automobile sector was a badly hit sector during pandemic and Nirmala madam was announcing lot of perks and privileges for this sector. Do you remember it? Yes, automobile sector बहुत न्यूज में था, लोग खरीद रहे नहीं, गाड़ियां खरीद रहे नहीं बोल के अपन लास्ट ईयर बोल रहे थे, राइट और रॉन्ग. दैट्स व्हाई द सर्वे हैज टोल्ड दैट ऑटोमोटिव सेक्टर, ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर हैज सीन द बिगेस्ट डिक्लाइन. मींस कार खरीदना, कार बेचना, कार का इंपोर्ट, कार का एक्सपोर्ट, कार का इंपोर्ट, कार का एक्सपोर्ट ऑल ओवर द कंट्रीज सबसे ज्यादा कम हुआ. डिक्लाइन, डिक्लाइन इन द ट्रेड वॉल्यूम ऑफ व्हाट, automotive products is seen highest, biggest decline we have seen. But as because you all are well aware of this fact, we got pandemic, we got lockdown, what we have done, so you might be knowing that you have all taken coaching on online platforms, education coachings, NEET ki coaching, civils ki coaching, okay, work from home was there, people, so broadband connectivity, electronics, routers, computers, dongles, ये सब तो खरीदे नहीं खरीदे आप लोग, apps purchase, all that you have taken or not. That's why though in pandemic these all happened, but telecommunication equipments, electronics and pharmaceuticals, इनका growth rise हुआ. Okay. इनका trade क्या हुआ? rise हुआ because हम ये सब खरीदे. Like I have this pen tab, I have this pad. ये मैं क्यों खरीदता था अगर pandemic होता ही नहीं था तो, right? मैं नहीं खरीदता था. Like that मेरे जैसे कितने faculties might have bought it. Okay, like you also bought lot of online services, तो आप भी तो लिए. So in that way what happened, the electronic telecommunications, ये तो tablets, तो pandemic था तो tablet तो चला ही. Okay, you had a Udolo 650 normal cough के लिए, pneumonia के लिए, because you know that coronavirus symptoms are similar to flu and pneumonia. right? So those who have got that kind of fever, viral fever, they have went for tablets etc. Multivitamin tablets खाना शुरू कर दिए. Okay, self precautions भी लेना शुरू कर दिए in the time of pandemic. That's why इन पूरों का जो भी ट्रेड वॉल्यूम था वो बढ़ा, बट एग्रीकल्चर का, फ्यूल का, माइनिंग का, ऑटोमोटिव का कम हुआ trade ka volume. I hope I have clearly made you to understand this particular slide. Let us go ahead. Developments in India's balance of payment. अब देखेंगे इंडिया. India's exports and imports saw a sharp contraction in line with the contraction in global trade. So global trade का contract जितना हुआ हमारा भी उतना ही हुआ. Like that, almost near to the decline which was seen in the global trade, we also have the same decline. Okay, on lines with the global trade. The decline in imports outweigh that in exports. Okay, so imports का decline बहुत ज़्यादा था than the exports का decline. Exports का decline इतना था तो import का decline ज़्यादा था. Okay, that's why हमारा जो हमेशा trade deficit होता है, like again going back to our same old chart, यहाँ पे जो trade, I told you that there is always a trade deficit. बोला नहीं बोला मैं, I have told you there is always a trade deficit. बोलते हो 100 रुपए का हम export करें, 200 rupees का हम import करें. So how much is trade deficit here? 100 or not? Yes. 100 रुपए का export करें, 200 का import करें, तो हमारे पास से 100 रुपए ज्यादा गए नहीं गए? Yes. Okay. So because of this pandemic, what happened is exports तो वैसे भी कम हुए, हम कम ही करें बिकॉज प्रोडक्शन तो हुआ नहीं, लेबर तो हर जगह अनरेस्ट में थे, दे वांट टू गो देयर होम्स. आप तो मालूम ही है आपको माइग्रेशन रिलेटेड प्रॉब्लम हो गया था. सो लेबर्स भी काम नहीं करे, कंस्ट्रक्शन सेक्टर भी बंद था, तो प्रोडक्शन सेक्टर भी, इंडस्ट्री, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सब तो बंद थे. तो जब बंद थे तो हम प्रोड्यूस करे भी नहीं, सो वी आर अनेबल टू एक्सपोर्ट ऑल्सो. एक्सपोर्ट कम हुआ, and because of international restrictions and so on and so forth, and in other countries also there was severe coronavirus was going on, and they also did not produce much, so we imported even lesser, पहले से कम. तो पहले 100 का एक्सपोर्ट करते थे, इंपोर्ट 200 करते थे. बिकॉज ऑफ पैंडेमिक क्या हो गया, एक्सपोर्ट का तो हम कम हुआ, लेट सपोज एक्सपोर्ट 96 हुआ समझो, इंपोर्ट 150 तक कम कर दिए. ओके, सो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट व्हाट हैपेंड, 100 का डेफिसिट होने के बजाय हमारा डेफिसिट ऑलमोस्ट 48 ऐसा रहा. हमारा डेफिसिट 48 ऐसा रहा. आई थिंक यू गॉट दिस. इट्स वेरी complex. I am writing things on the slides. I hope that you get it. If you don't get it, you have my WhatsApp number and any other things, so that or else you just watch it again, you will understand it. I am just trying to tell that trade deficit smaller था, पहले से कम हुआ trade deficit. It's not because we exported more, it's because we imported less than export. Than export, this is important, than important, right? Fine, fine, fine. चलो भाई, अरे ये तो बहुत जबरदस्त चार्ट है. Let us see that. Commodities in which India's mercantile trade balance is favorable. Favorable का मतलब है हम ये goods ज्यादा export करते, हम ये goods कम import करते. Means we do these goods more exports but we import these goods less. तो जब more export करते तो पैसे भी ज्यादा आते, okay, money ज्यादा आते. जब less import करते तो पैसे कम जाते. राइट और रॉन्ग? आई टोल्ड यू क्रेडिट डेबिट भी रहना, एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट भी रहना, ये आपको मालूम होना चाहिए. द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द लेक्चर आई हैव टोल्ड यू व्हाट इज व्हाट. So that's why I have told you that you need to know some concepts in order to understand economic survey, otherwise it's not possible. Economic survey में डायरेक्ट बोल देता है हर चीज. ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, फाइन 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 फाइन, लेट अस गो अहेड. चलो, ट्रेड फेवरेबल, ड्रग्स एंड फॉर्मुलेशंस एंड बायोलॉजिकल्स, हम ये ज्यादा एक्सपोर्ट करते, बहुत कम इंपोर्ट करते. मैराइन प्रोडक्ट्स, फिश के, श्रिम्प एंड ऑल, फिश प्रोडक्ट्स हम ज्यादा एक्सपोर्ट करते, कम इंपोर्ट करते. गोल्ड हम ज्यादा एक्सपोर्ट करते, कम इंपोर्ट करते. आरएमजी, कॉटन, कॉटन फैब्रिक्स, आयरन एंड स्टील, आयरन और राइस, बासमती राइस, अदर देन बासमती, सोना मसूरी, पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट्स, कैंडल, okay, Vaseline, these are all what? Petroleum products. So in all these, okay, हम यहाँ पे देखो गोल्ड एंड गोल्ड तो हम ज्यादा इंपोर्ट करते, यू माइट बी नोइंग. यहाँ पे गोल्ड नहीं है, ये गोल्ड एंड अदर प्रीशियस मेटल ज्वेलरी. सो गोल्ड से बनाई गई ज्वेलरी हम ज्यादा वैल्यू में एक्सपोर्ट करते एंड कम वैल्यू में इंपोर्ट करते, बिकॉज हमारे कारीगर की तो बात ही कुछ अलग है. We are very delicate people. We does lots of, because we are having a trend to enjoy the gold by the women of this country. They cherish, they love it. Okay, and it is used in all festivals, and gold is a symbol of status also, and many such things. That's why हमारे पास तो expertise मिलेगा ही मिलेगा with regard to designs. So gold की jewelry हम ज़्यादा export करते हैं in value than the gold jewelry we import in value. So in all of these products, we do lot of exports but less imports. That's why in these exports, we are always having favorable, means we are always surplus. We are always surplus. And the commodities in which India is having unfavorable trade, means here we export less but we import more. I think you got it. What is that? Petroleum, जो हमारे पास है ही नहीं. हमारे पास पेट्रोलियम यहाँ पे बॉम्बे हाई में डिग बॉय, दो चार जगह पेट्रोलियम के रिजर्व से खोदो पेट्रोल निकालो, खोदो पेट्रोल निकालो. ओके, बट बहुत कम है. सो वी इंपोर्ट ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ व्हाट, क्रूड ऑयल, बट वी एक्सपोर्ट वेरी लेस. गोल्ड वी इंपोर्ट, साबित गोल्ड बिना ज्वेलरी वाला, बिस्किट बिस्किट, कॉइन्स. ओके, वी इंपोर्ट मोर बट वी एक्सपोर्ट वेरी लेस. Coal, coke, briquettes, telecommunication instruments, electronic components, vegetable oils, computer hardwares, okay, any other peripheral items like Wi-Fi, routers, etc., fertilizers, plastic raw materials, aircraft, spacecraft parts, okay, ये पूरे प्रोडक्ट्स में हम ज्यादा इंपोर्ट करते हैं. इंपोर्ट we do more import but we export very less. तो यहाँ पे 3 एरो बोल तो ज्यादा इंपोर्ट करते हैं, 1 एरो बोल तो कम इंपोर्ट करते हैं. That's why the value, obviously when ज्यादा इंपोर्ट करते तो बहुत पैसा जाता, कम एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं ना कम पैसा आता. That's why here the trade balance will always be what? Unfavorable. Trade balance means I am talking only about what? यार आई एम टॉकिंग ओनली अबाउट दिस कंपोनेंट. ट्रेड बोले कि यही कंपोनेंट आएगा, विजिबल कंपोनेंट ही आएगा. ट्रेड मींस ओनली विजिबल कंपोनेंट विल ओनली कम. I guess you got this point. Let us go ahead. Okay, India has most favorable trade balance with USA. Okay, with USA जितना हम goods and services, वैल्यू ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज यूएस को एक्सपोर्ट करते, उन उससे कम हम यूएस से लेते. दैट्स व्हाई we are always exporting more value of goods and services to USA than we are importing from them. That's why we are always having a favorable trade balance with USA. Okay, then by Bangladesh, then by Nepal. Okay, and we are having the biggest trade deficit with China. China से हम ज़्यादा import करते, less exports we do. With China we do lots of imports and less exports, followed by Iraq and Saudi Arabia. Iraq वाले तो तेल देंगे, oil देंगे. Saudi Arabia I think oil only and gold and oil Saudi में से आ सकता है. So I think I have given you very wonderful data of today's class. I hope that you like it. So please do share and subscribe to my channel, and if you have any doubts, write in the comment section, or you can also message me, WhatsApp me, whatever you want to do, you do. Good night. It's right, it's night. See, I'm working very hard for all of you. It's 10:34. It's 10:34, Thursday, 22nd April 2021. The only thing that makes me drive to make the videos is that your messages, your mails that I read, and your comments. Anyhow you don't do, please do the comments also, and the only request is to share. सबको पढ़ने दो. That's all. Bye bye. Have a nice day.